I think this is a blow for the Prime Minister's authority, for his strategy with the EU and the Northern Ireland Protocol. I think it's a blow for Brexit altogether, because this is the guy that helped to get Brexit done. Emma Webb, your reaction to the resignation of Lord Frost?
I haven't had so much respect for a politician in I don't remember how long. I would like to think, though I'm not hopeful, that this will be the first of more resignations. Our politicians need to have a backbone.
And this is a big name. This is not some, PPS in the Home Office. It's the Brexit minister. It is the man who helped get Brexit done. You could argue he's the guy that did get Brexit done.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a huge blow for Boris, and it's going to be a reminder to other MPs that it is possible to have principles. Is
Lord Frost a potential future leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister?
Well, I would certainly like to think so off of the back of this. Certainly for me, this has put him right to the very top of my ranking of politicians that I respect.
Well, when I speak to the likes of Trevor Kavanagh, the political columnist at The Sun, John Rentoul and others, they always say that when it comes to the next leader of any party, it's often a candidate you didn't anticipate would come along. I just wonder whether Lord Frost is the ultimate dark horse. I mean, this is the guy
John Major was like that.
He faced off the... Yeah, John Major was the same. He faced off the EU. He got that deal done. He stood up to Brussels. For example, they got rid of the backstop, the hated backstop, which apparently was in a treaty, but they managed to get it out because he's a tenacious guy. What's your reaction to this story, Nick?
Well, if I'm honest, I'm less bothered about the Brexit element. I'm pleased that he held Boris's feet to the fire on the irreversible nature of coming out of lockdown, which has proved to be very, very reversible. I think that's really important. He's reminding Boris of who he's supposed to be, someone that values freedom, which is great. My only fear, as ever, is if we get rid of Boris, which is looking like there's more and more pressure on him now, is that we end up with some vaccine passport-obsessed maniac like Mr Gove instead. That would be my concern.
Yeah, and you don't know, do you, just how lockdown sceptic someone like Rishi Sunak actually is.
Right, and
you don't go one of two ways. It's the yellow brick road for Rishi.
And it's also very easy to say, you don't know at all with him, but it's also very easy to say from a position of not being the leader what you would do. As we've seen with Theresa May, she's a lot more lockdown sceptic on the backbench than you imagine she would be as leader. She might be, but it's much harder when you're actually in that position. So we don't know what anyone would do. Maybe Boris is slightly more libertarian than all these others. I don't believe he is.
Are you troubled by that line when he says that you open up the country, you wanted exit from lockdowns to be irreversible, and he's saying that's what he wished to have, and I believe that's what you wanted too, Prime Minister.
Yeah, he's trying to remind Boris of the better angels of his nature and say stop listening to sage idiots and go with your instincts, which are towards freedom, we're told.
Yeah, Bill, your reaction?
I think, actually, there's a lot of worry with his resignation, given that there still isn't a solution to the the Northern Ireland Protocol, a debate over jurisdiction in the European Court of Justice. But I think what we're seeing from at least the political stakes here is that, it's a big-name resignation, the Brexit secretary, the man that helped Boris to get Brexit done. And I think what we're going to see over the next few months is that if Boris carries on acting in the way he is over his leadership and not able to get, steer the boat in the right direction, we could see more cabinet resignations. And we know there's tensions within the cabinet already over certain policies like taxes and Liz Truss, particularly, and also levelling up is a really contentious issue within the cabinet as well. And as we've seen over the lockdown restrictions is what is clearly hit at in the Lord Frost resignation letter. So really bad time for Boris.
Why do you think he has resigned? Is he making a bid for the leadership? Is he just a man of principle? What do you think's behind this?
I think claims about leadership are a bit far-fetched. I mean, he is very popular among Conservative members. I think in the last Conservative Home ranking for the cabinet, I think he was the third most popular, only behind Liz Truss. And I think Ben Wallace, but he's a member of the House of Lords, senior member of the Lords as well. Yeah. I think it is on the basis of I think it's on principle, because clearly there's not a lot of inroads when it comes to Northern Ireland Protocol. With Marcus Verovich having these weekly meetings, not able to come up with a final draw, and clearly frustrated with Boris's position on lockdown or potential lockdown, given that he said it was irreversible.
Very briefly, Emma, just a few seconds on this, but do you think this is Lord Frost making a judgment about the Prime Minister's position?
I think I'll go so far as saying I think it's an interesting indication of which way the winds may be blowing, because we've seen other senior old Tory MPs coming out and saying that essentially that you know, two strikes and you're out, or three strikes and you're out, and suggesting that maybe this is the beginning of the end of Boris's premiership.
Well, could it be it?